Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dragagan, and this is Gregtech New Horizons. So, when I left off the last video, I had completed all the parts for my clean room, and over here I have my clean room set up. Now, currently, I've fixed all the bugs in it, or fixed all the problems with it, but I have not set up anything inside of it, and I have not applied power to it yet. All I've done is basically get it set up so that I can start doing some of the stuff with it. One of the things I decided I needed to make beforehand, though, was the portable scanner. So I definitely wanted to get the portable scanner done so that I could have a look at, I can come over here with it and take a look at how the controller is doing. There you can see right now, while it has zero problems, it does not have any pollution reduction on there yet, and that's because I haven't powered it up yet. And the reason I haven't powered it up yet is because I haven't built a gas turbine in order to run it off of the benzene. So that is my next order of business, is getting that guy up and running with a thing of benzene so that I can start to get that pollution reduction up to that 100%. And the reason for that is because some of the next quests that I need to work on will require it. Working on this central processing unit is one of the next things that I want to do. This thing does need a clean room, and so, as well as a glass lens, which I believe I've got either a glass or, yeah, definitely I have a diamond lens probably sitting right in here. No, I haven't moved it over. In any case, I do have the lens already, probably in one of those chests that I haven't dealt with yet, and so I will be working on getting that. As you can see, I completed my advanced precision laser engraver. I did that just before I started recording the video. Not terribly difficult. 3 of the HV chips, 2 of these HV pistons, and the only annoying thing about the pistons is needing to get 4 gold and 6 silver in order to make all the electrum and the cables in order to make these HV motors. I'm hoping that doesn't continue to be the case, but I'm going to guess that it is, and so, just kind of suck it up, collect extra resources, and power my way through the HV era. In my backpack, I'm down just under 3/4 of a stack of my HV chips. I've been slowly consuming my MV, none of the LV lately. I haven't been making too many of my LV machines, primarily focused on a couple of machines that require the MV chips, and then mostly on anything that requires the HV chips. So I'm going to cut away, and I'll probably work on these 3 quests right here. When they have you do the 26 ammonia here, it actually gives you everything you need. 24 ammonia in order to make the nitric oxide. You only need 1 ammonia and a methanol cell, and then 1 ammonia and the hypochlorous acid. And so basically this one quest makes you make enough ammonia to knock out all 3 of these other quests. So I probably will at least get the chloramine and the nitric oxide done. The dimethylamine will have to wait because I don't have a setup to get methanol yet. But I definitely want to get to work on automating ammonia specifically for the nitric oxide, because the nitric oxide goes into making the let's see here. I believe that goes into making the I can't even remember the stuff in order to make the cetane boosted diesel. So yeah, I will cut away, and when I come back, hopefully we'll have a little bit more setup ready. You might even see a little bit of a setup over here in order to start constantly producing ammonia, since I do have the setup over there to get nitrogen, oxygen, and hydrogen, which is everything you need in order to make the ammonia and possibly on through to the nitric acid. In any case, see you in a bit. And I'm back again, and I've done a little bit more work around the base. I don't know if I covered this earlier, but I did go through and complete all of the chemical stuff with the exception of getting purified chalcopyrite and pinlantite along with 128 nitric acid cells, just because I didn't want to go through the process of making all 128 without automating this process. But essentially it wants you to get this platinum group sludge dust and then try and get a couple of, or the tiny piles of these rare materials. Instead, what I did was I set up my clean room, I got it powered up, and I went ahead and got the CPU and the cut CPU done. And right now I am actually in the middle of, oops, not that one, working on this, the Advanced Circuit Assembling Machine. I put all the parts together, and so now it's just a matter of getting them all placed in here, and we will have the Advanced Circuit Assembling Machine done. If you didn't notice, that does take HV tier circuits, which is why you can't make it ahead of time. But let's see, that then opens up an HV cutting machine. And so I guess I will need to make an HV cutting machine. It does take a diamond saw blade. The conveyor module is going to be one of the more pricey parts because it'll also use up 2 more of these motors. So I guess I will begin working on getting this advanced cutting machine. What does it say? NOR, NAND, and other high-tier chips require this machine. And then it's also required for cutting the glowstone doped wafers, which are these guys, the glowstone doped monocrystalline silicon. The only problem I have with working on that right now is the fact that this requires the next tier of coils in order to smelt this down. So I will be working on that as well, I suppose. I still don't have, I was expecting to get a quest in here to make those Canthal coils. So I'm not exactly sure why I don't have anything to make those coils. And that's because I can't quite recall what this dust is needing. Iron, chrome, aluminum, and then that. Right. Going in and making the Canthal dust requires us to use a blast furnace. Our blast furnace is fine, but we need to be able to cool down the ingots, which means the vacuum freezer, and the vacuum freezer wants those EV tier chips. So yeah, I guess I will be continuing along that path because, as you can see, the higher tier wafers need this advanced cutting machine, so I'll probably need it at some point for the rest of this setup. So I will continue working towards this cutting machine. I may go and do a little bit more automation because, like I say, I want to get that nitric acid and that ammonia automated instead of having to do it by hand every time. So I'll cut away again and come back once we have a bit more done. Alright, not much time has passed, and I was able to get everything together for that advanced cutting machine. There we go. And, it looks like that's kind of a dead end until we get to those other coils. So, it doesn't show us how to make those EV tier circuits, so I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at making those circuits. Let's see. Alright, nanoprocessor assemblies. Those are what I need. Ooh, wow. That is a lot of stuff. Random access memory chip, fine electrum wire, SMD capacitor, nanoprocessors. Looks like it requires the nanoprocessors, which need those good integrated circuits. Yeah, looks like I have my work cut out for me. I am going to see about making... Oh, wait, those are the wrong ones. I need these guys, which are advanced circuit boards, advanced system on a chip, fine electrum wire, and the platinum bolt. Since it's asking for these advanced system on a chip, it sounds like I might need to go back here and work on the simple sock wafer. get this guy knocked out, and there might be something around this area. So I'm going to work on getting either an amber or a topaz lens, and work towards getting these simple SoC wafers, simple systems on a chip, and see if I can start unlocking some of the rest of this stuff through that path. So I'll be back after a while. Alright, I think I finally figured out which quest it is that I actually need to complete. I was looking through here, and I finished the simple system on a chip. What I did was I grabbed some amber, I ground it up, purified it, sifted it, ended up getting another one of the exquisite ambers, which I then put into my lathe, and I got my amber lens, and I went ahead and did the simple system on a chip piece. And that's when I realized that I should probably actually be focusing on this quest, because it does have the little crown, meaning it is a key quest, and I haven't done it yet. And the hardest part about this one is the capacitors, because it wants either 2 thin polyvinyl chloride sheets, or it wants a thin silicon rubber sheet. And we do have a quest in HV at this point to do the silicon rubber right here. But I went ahead and decided to make the other stuff instead, the polyvinyl chloride. It was fairly simple. It is 2 chlorine plus the ethylene that I have in one of my tanks over there, and you combine those in an advanced chemical reactor with the number 1 chip, and it'll give you the vinyl chloride, 1,000 of it, and then you can take that 1,000 and run it with some oxygen, and it'll get you 9 of the polyvinyl chloride sheets, which then you can, well, it'll give you 9 items worth of the liquid that I then put through my fluid solidifier to get the sheets, and then I put one through my bending machine in order to make that. There is the leftover amount of vinyl chloride, the 136 that's left over, because you make 1,000, but again, just like the polyethylene, it only takes 144 millibuckets per can of the polyvinyl chloride instead of the full 1,000. So you can make 9 of them, and you have that little bit left over. What I've done now is gotten everything prepared so that I can do each of those 4 things. I've made plenty of the resistors before. The resistors are nice and easy. I do like making the resistors. The diodes are a little bit more expensive because they do want the gallium arsenide. Thankfully, I grew some of those galvania plants, and so I have leftover gallium, and because of my miner running in the nether, I have a ton of relgar, so I have all the arsenic I need that way. I do need to go and harvest more because my galvania, I use it as often as I can when I come over here and remember, in order to get the 4 times for that, I forget which ore it is, sphalerite, that's the one. Alright, so there's 16 resistors, 32 diodes. Next are the transistors, which just wants a gallium foil, and that's why it's really important to get those galvania leaves up and running. And then 8 fine annealed copper. So let's see here, there's my gallium foil, there's my fine annealed copper, and that'll take care of those. And then the last one is 2 of these plus 1 of these will get you, and then half a can of polyethylene. So I went ahead and just had everything together to make 2 runs of it. But that's the 16 transistors. This will get me the 12 capacitors that I need, and that should complete that quest. Just double check, nope, nothing else there, but if we jump over here, there we go. Now from the advanced circuit assembler, we have the integrated processor and the microprocessor. So those are our latest LV chips that require the clean room. The integrated processors are the cheapest MV chip that you can make. These are a nice chip to make. Let's see. These guys right here, I believe we can actually use those in the circuit assembler. Let's take a look. Yeah, there's a HV processor assembly from the MV stuff. And those might be what we need to make, are these HV processor assemblies for something else. Actually, let's take a look. Get these guys. Circuit assembler. Get these guys. And then these guys, I think, are what we need in the circuit assembler. They can make the EV tier workstations. Huh. Okay. Well, I am going to work on these quests because I am hoping that one of the two of them will lead us to the EV chips that we need. And those EV chips will be what we will use, the first 3 of them here, for the vacuum freezer. Oh, it will take the workstation on the EV tier. So I'll get to work on getting those 3 guys created so that I can then go in and make these frost-proof machine casings. That is going to be quite a bit of aluminum when you're looking at 6 plus 2, so you're talking about 8 aluminum per frost-proof machine casing. They want you to make 1 for that, and then they want you to make an extra 21 for the machine, the multi-block itself. And then eventually I'll get around to creating the input, output, and maintenance and energy hatch so that we can put together a vacuum freezer which will get us where we need to be for the rocket. We can finally make the Canthal, which will then get us that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and sign this episode off here. I have made quite a bit of progress through HV. I mean, if you look at the number of HV quests that I've done, it's very nice. And so, yeah, I'm going to continue on down this line. This one's got the crown on it, so I'll more than likely focus on this integrated processor, especially since we already have the resistors, capacitors, and transistors, and just start working, and the central processing unit. Yeah, and again, clean room is needed, so I'm going to be sticking my MV, oops, I put him in here, my advanced circuit assembler down in here. I'll let you guys have a look at it. There it is, right there. Just a precision laser engraver, an advanced cutting machine, and now I can put in my advanced circuit assembler. And you can see I'm using the elevator. The elevator is nice because it doesn't open and close the door, and by not opening and closing the door, I don't have to worry about losing out on the efficiency of my clean room. All I have to do is make sure that it's got plenty of power, and it will do that constant draw of just 4 EU per tick, which makes it very nice for running in the MV age. So I will see you all in the next video, and till then.